Hey YouTube, once again, it is lilrockercutie2005, also known as Andre, here with you. And once again, I am with the awesome Buffyxenaman, also known as Chris. And we are here to share with you a Mega DVD and VHS update. So let's get started, and I'm going to let Chris start first. So
it's more Mega than mine.
Yeah, it is more of a Mega haul on my end because I got some good deals. Plus, our friend Jonathan sent me some stuff, so I'm going to show that off too.
Most of the VHSs and DVDs we got are from the surplus store that closed down.
Actually, no, not the surplus store, Busy Bee.
Oh, Busy Bee, yeah.
Which was a thrift shop here in Holton Lake, and they went out of business like a week or two ago. But all the VHSs you'll see in my haul, except for a couple of them, came from there, and I got an awesome deal on them, which I will tell you about when we get to my part of it.
Alright, this I got from Shanton and Lady in the Water. I'm not a real big fan of this director.
M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not a big fan of him either. The only movie of his that I really liked was Unbreakable.
Yeah, I just don't find this twist to be very twisty.
Well, he puts a twist ending in every one, and it's like, it leaves you scratching your head. I mean, look at the happening. I mean, we're running from the air. It's in the flowers. It's in the trees. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, if I want to watch something a stupid pound, I'll watch Nature Channel.
Right.
Yeah, this is up for trade. Anyone who wants it, needs it, make me a good deal.
Yeah, send us a PM and we'll be sure to make you a deal.
Yes, please. Okay,
I am going to start off with my VHS haul, and I got all these for a good deal. It was just over 21 bucks at Busy Bee, because they were selling all their movies half off, and I got all these VHSs and 2 DVDs that you'll see for that price. And I'm going to start off with the original classic, RoboCop. Now, I think everybody knows about this movie. It's about a cop who transfers to a really bad precinct, gets killed in the line of duty, and the company that owns the police department turns him into, like, part man, part machine. And of course, after they do that, he just goes around kicking ass of the people that killed him, and it's a really great movie. It stars Peter Weller in the title role. It's got Nancy Allen, who most of you horror fans will know from Carrie and stuff like Dress to Kill. But this is a movie I really enjoy, and I don't know what else to say about it, just that I really enjoyed it.
I got a mini clamshell of Alien. The first one. And I found this there, surprised me, so I grabbed it.
Alien's always a classic.
I never seen anything like this before. They had the original VHS there for a while, but it wasn't there when I went there to get it, but they had this.
Well, that one's better than having none.
True. And it's a good movie. Never seen anything like this before. I got it real cheap. I got it for like half off. And I'm glad I finally own it again. VHS or none.
I had one like that of The Exorcist. Actually, I have a couple in them kind of clamshells.
I don't really see these clamshells.
They made them during like the late 90s with certain movies. Because I have one like that of Caddyshack. And a couple other ones, I think I've got one of Yellow Submarine. I know there's one or two more I have like that, but I can't remember them right offhand. But next up for me is the very underrated sequel, RoboCop 2. Now this once again stars Peter Weller in the title role. Nancy Allen, of course, returns. And this one is about the company that owns the police department. They want to make a new RoboCop. So basically what they do is they put a bunch of these stupid directives in the original RoboCop's head. Like, he does do some funny lines in this, and it's mainly like the innocence lost. I mean, children are going around committing crimes. Like, there's a scene where you see this Little League team that's robbing an electronics store, and basically what the company does to make a new RoboCop is they put the brain of this drug lord in their prototype, and basically the finale is RoboCop 1 versus the new RoboCop, and it's a really cool scene to watch. But this sequel is very underrated, and it is one that I also truly enjoy.
That's like the only RoboCop movie I watched.
You need to watch the first one.
And the third.
The third one, I'll get to it.
Yeah. That's all I see. That wasn't too bad. Alien 3. Many people don't like this movie. I loved it.
I'm one of the people that hates it.
I like the premise. Although Steven Spielberg, I heard, bitched about it, saying that they ruined the translation between the second and third one.
Well, they wanted to do an entirely different thing with it.
Yes.
From what I heard, they wanted to have people transforming into aliens in this really painful, like, transformation type scene, sort of like American Werewolf in London, that kind of style.
I also heard they wanted Ripley to be injured and not be able to do much, and the little girl and that one surviving guy and Bishop. Hicks and Bishop to be like the main characters in it.
That would have been a better way to take it, because I heard that Michael Biehn, who played Hicks in Aliens, he was pissed that they killed off his character.
Yes, but I love the ending. I like the ending where the government's trying to capture her.
The company.
Well, they're both people. And they're trying to capture her so they get the alien side of her. And instead, she plummets to her death in this fiery pit as the alien bursts out. Chestburster bursts out, and she holds it and goes in the fire. And they close down the prison planet. And at the end, you hear the dialogue of the first movie playing in the background.
I have to go back and watch that again. I haven't watched it in a while.
I like the original cut and the director's cut.
I don't think it was the director's cut. I think it was like some kind of special edition. It's on the 2-disc, plus it's on that box set. Okay,
the original one had the whole dialogue thing?
Yeah.
The director's cut just had her falling and nothing happening.
Well, the director's cut was also stretched for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I mean, they stretched it from like 116 minutes to like 140-something minutes. But next up for me, and this one is kind of a letdown, it's RoboCop 3. Now, I have to agree with a lot of people on YouTube, like Matt, Rambo Ref for Life, and of course Mike, OCP Communications. I have to agree with you guys that this movie is really shitty. They tried, after RoboCop 2's success, they shot this in 1991 and shelved it until 93 when they finally released it. And during that time, between 2 and 3, they were trying to market RoboCop to kids, which is why this movie got a PG-13, and I think it's also part of the reason why it tanked. But I think one of the things I don't like about it is that Nancy Allen does come back, but they kill off her character, and of course they have a different actor playing RoboCop, and he doesn't do a very good job with it. But then again, this was the first RoboCop movie I saw as a kid, and when I was a kid I thought it was so cool, but then I went back and watched parts 1 and part 2, and of course I loved them more, and I think this was just a really shitty direction to take the series, and a really shitty way to end it. And I've also heard about the remake, and I am not too excited about it.
Companies say this video is kind of like a Halloween thing, but Power Rangers, Lord Zip's Monster Heads, it's just basically a straight-to-video thing they did. It was like a 20-minute thing. I watched it as soon as I got it because I've been wanting to watch it for a while.
They did a lot of them Power Rangers things straight to video.
Yep, and this one, just basically they the episodes in Mutiny and The Wedding, they just changed the lines and voiced it over again, and they show highlights from monsters past, like the pumpkin wrapper, which is actually kind of still one of my favorite villains. It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny in a way because the Power Rangers were popular when we grew up in the 90s, and of course I was a fan of Power Rangers back then. I'm not as much a fan anymore except for the original series. I wouldn't mind having the original series on DVD, but I think anything past that without the original people, I don't know what to say about it because I didn't watch much except for when they were really popular. But when they were popular I enjoyed it, but I just think, well,
I still watch Power Rangers. I watch them all, and I would love to have all of them on DVD.
That's if they put them all on DVD. Sure. Right now I've heard they're working on the original series. Because Season 1's already out as far as I know.
Season 1 Volume 2, it's supposed to come out soon.
I also heard there was going to be a box set.
Yep. Either way, I want it.
I would want it too. I mean, if it's the original series, I wouldn't mind having it.
Go Power Rangers.
That theme song is just classic.
Oh,
I mean, it's a staple of us 90s kids.
Hell, I used to have the entire thing memorized.
I did too, don't feel bad.
I don't feel bad, I feel awesome about it.
Next up for me is another 80s classic. It is Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Now, this is one that I saw as a kid and I loved it. I still love it to this day. And it's got Bruce Willis, and like I said, he plays a cop who's going to visit his estranged wife in Los Angeles, and he's waiting for her to get out of this Christmas party. And these terrorists, led by Alan Rickman, Professor Snape himself, take over the office building. And of course, it's up to Bruce Willis to stop them all, which of course he does. And this is just a really great action movie, and if you're a fan of like 80s action movies, like I guess Big Bang stuff, this is one that I would truly recommend.
I also got to play Carl Winslow's in that one.
Yeah, he's in part 1 and part 2, which I will get to.
Yep. My last VHS I got The Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors.
Now, wasn't that part of a box set?
Uh-huh. It's like a political holiday, yada yada. This is the Emmys one.
Because there was like, wasn't there like 3 or 4 of them that came out during the 10th anniversary?
4.
4?
This is like take 2 of that. And me looking how I found this, I grabbed it. It has like one of my favorite Treehouse of Horror ones. Dowsy for Zombie, King Homer, and
that's a classic.
A clown with Pity.
Oh, I love that one. I'm Krusty the Clown and I don't like you.
I just love the Z for Zombies that Raise the Dead. And one goes, spare my family, take me. And they tap his head.
Brains! Brains! Brains!
And Flanders the Zombie. And, hey, Homer, mind if I nibble your ear? Oh my god, you killed the zombie Flanders!
It kind of reminded me a bit of Return of the Living Dead, the way the zombies were talking.
Yeah, this makes a horror.
Does that have the Nightmare on Elm Street one?
No.
Oh.
Your DVD does.
I know, and that DVD don't work.
I think that comes out like years later after. I think it's part 8.
No, it was like part 4.
I don't remember.
Because the Z for Zombie and Clown Without Pity, I think that was part 3. And then
This is part 4. Is that in it?
Oh, it must have been like part 5 or 6 or something like that.
Part 4 had like the running gag throughout the show where they kept slamming an axe in Willie's back.
Oh yeah.
And
it's been a while since I watched them. I haven't watched The Simpsons in I don't know how long. I mean,
at least the classics.
Yeah, we just got TV recently again, so I'm trying to get back into my shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy. But of course, I can't get back into them right now because of the damn baseball championships. I'm not a baseball fan, but I guess that's just the way it goes. But of course, as you can see, I'm wearing my Michigan State jersey to support my team, but then again, Michigan State lost to Michigan yesterday, so I'm not too happy about that. Here, I still root for them.
Here, fuck you, baseball. Fuck you, Michigan.
Yeah, right on.
Go on.
Okay, next up for me is the sequel to Die Hard. It is Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Now, this one was directed by Rennie Harlan. I think he got this after the success of Nightmare on Elm Street 4. And once again, Bruce Willis comes back, as always, for these movies. And he's trying to stop some more terrorists. But this time, they're at an airport in D.C. And his wife is on one of the planes that's circling the airport because they're in a snowstorm. And they can't land because the terrorists have cut all the lights to, like, the landing stuff. And the planes are running out of gas. So it's up to Bruce Willis, once again, to stop the terrorists and all that. Save the day. You know how it goes. Now, Ryan 1988, Justin, I heard Die Hard 2 is your favorite, so shout out to you, and of course, I saw you subscribe to our channel, so thanks for that, and peace to you. Oh, you're out?
I only have like 4 VHS.
Oh, wow.
DVD.
So I guess it's all me now.
You like being the center of attention.
I hate being the center of attention. I don't know why. Next up, I have another Die Hard sequel. This is the last one to come to VHS. It is Die Hard with a Vengeance. Once again, Bruce Willis is back. This time he co-stars with Samuel L. Jackson, who's a civilian that he has to team up with to stop this mad bomber played by Jeremy Irons. Now, this was the first one I actually saw as a kid when it first came out, and I really liked it. It made me go back and watch the first two, and I really enjoy the Die Hard franchise. I'm looking forward to Die Hard 5. I don't remember what the name of it was. I heard Matt say it in one of his videos, but once again, I can't remember it. Yeah, this is Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Harder, I think it was, or something like that.
No, that's part 2. I think it was called... Oh, shoot, I don't remember. Anyways, Matt, if you're watching this video, maybe you can tell me what it was, or if anybody out there who watches our videos knows what the 5th Die Hard movie is going to be called, please let us know, especially me, because I'm looking forward to it.
That's like the first Die Hard movie I saw.
What, with Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Yep.
Yeah, it was the first one I saw, too. Next up is another action classic from the 80s. It is Mel Gibson and Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. Now, this is Mel Gibson at his prime before he went all cuckoo.
And religious.
Yeah. But anyways, he plays a loose cannon cop teamed up with Danny Glover, who's a no-nonsense, like, straight-laced cop who's trying to get his retirement. And they have to team up to fight this, like, I don't know what you call him, but he's played by Gary Busey. And it's a really fun, action-packed, funny movie. It's one I truly enjoy, and I don't know what else to say about this movie that hasn't been said, but it is a classic, and I truly enjoy it. Then I have the sequel, Lethal Weapon 2. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that this is the best one in the series, and it's been a while since I watched it, but once again, we have Mel Gibson and Danny Glover coming back. And this time we have Joe Pesci, who some of you might remember from stuff like Home Alone and Goodfellas, as a witness they're trying to protect. He's like a witness for the mob or something like that. I don't know why he's always playing mob guys. I guess that's kind of his niche. But he does a good job with it.
I didn't care for those movies.
I'm a fan of them. I don't know why. I guess I just like those kind of big bang, like really take no prisoner style action.
Just didn't hit the right buttons with me, I would say.
I've noticed a lot of action movies don't hit the right buttons with you.
I don't know. I guess I'm thinking about some horror movies.
You are, I've noticed.
I don't snap that way.
At least you're not being called an indie darling loving snob like Shauna Tonin was by Bruce Campbell. If you can believe that.
Oh, fuck Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell from The Evil Dead jumped on Twitter and called our friend Shauna Tonin an indie darling loving snob because he has the movie The Man with the Screaming Brain. Now, I don't know why this is, but...
He's in that movie!
Exactly!
That fucking idiot. Bruce Campbell, your only thing you're ever good for was Xena. Go on.
Well, Evil Dead for me, I love those movies. But anyway, next up is the Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell movie, Tango and Cash. Now, I've never seen this, but I did see it in Matt Member After Life's collection, and I don't think he has a review for it on his channel. But, Matt, if you're watching this, maybe you could give me a little bit on what this is about, or if anybody out there who's seen this movie and really enjoys it would kindly let me know what the focus is. The synopsis of it sounded really good, but I guess it's just one that I would have to know more about before I dove into it. Now, next up is one of my favorites from when I was a kid. It's another Sylvester Stallone movie. It's him and Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. Now, Sylvester Stallone plays this cop who gets frozen in, I think, the year 1999 or something like that. And Wesley Snipes gets frozen that same year. They both get woken up in the year 2032. Wesley Snipes' character gets woken up first, and he escapes, so they have to wake up Sylvester Stallone's character to go after him. And of course, this whole like dystopian, politically correct future is all new to Sylvester Stallone. He doesn't like it because you can't swear, you can't have red meat, you can't smoke, you can't do anything particularly fun. You know, Taco Bell is like the restaurant everywhere. It's an odd kind of future to see, but this is a movie I truly enjoy.
I like the part he once he sees the toilet,
Yeah!
And they had like seashells.
And they don't have they have seashells and they don't have toilet paper.
So he walks to the...
He starts swearing and goes, "Thanks a lot, you shit-faced, duck-fucking pain in the ass." He grabs all the paper and he's like, "See you in a couple minutes."
I was like, when he's later on seeing a fight with that chief.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Fuck you," and the lady grabs him.
Or when he's saying, "Why don't you just shove a leash up my ass?"
I'll hate to live in the future.
I would too.
I want my red meat.
That movie was also an early performance from Sandra Bullock before she became famous for Speed.
I remember the part where they froze them. They just filled a tank of water and froze them.
Yeah, like they dropped this thing in there. It was like, I don't know really how to explain it, but they dropped this thing in there that like automatically freezes them. And then they have to do this whole other kind of process to wake them up. You'd have to watch the movie to really get it, but it's one, if you get into it, you will truly enjoy. And for me as a kid, it did appeal to me because Sylvester Stallone, he's one of my favorite action actors, and I wish he'd do a little bit more. And I've heard Expendables and Expendables 2 are really good, but I haven't had the chance to see them yet.
Expendables is good. I haven't seen number 2 yet. No, Expendables is an awesome movie.
They were both at the Pines.
I know. Well,
and it's rare for the Pines to get R-rated movies.
It's rare for them to get good movies, really.
I know! Our theater here in Holton Lake, the Pines, they rarely get anything good, and I'm surprised they got both Expendables 1 and 2 when they did.
Or Twilight.
The only Twilight movies, they got 3 of them, actually.
I don't know. I had to go Westbrook.
I went for 2 of them. But
I had to go Westbrook for first one, and I also want to say I haven't seen that.
But I will get to Twilight in an upcoming video that we're going to talk about, so. But next up in my update is a movie called Falling Down. Now, this stars Michael Douglas as an ordinary guy who wants to get home for his daughter's birthday party, and he leaves his car in the middle of the Los Angeles freeway in the middle of a heat wave, and he basically gets a bunch of guns and just goes berserk on the people of Los Angeles. And I think this was a cool approach. It's just an interesting movie.
It did not really interest me at all.
I really don't know what else to say about it. It's one I really enjoyed. It was one I heard about on I Love the 90s, and I just had to see it. Kind of like this next one I have. It is Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette in True Romance. Now, this was directed by the great Tony Scott and written, no less, by Quentin Tarantino. I think this was after he had directed Reservoir Dogs and before he did Pulp Fiction. But this has an all-star cast. It's bloody, it's violent. This is the unrated director's cut, and it's a really fun movie.
I like the corkscrew thing.
Oh yeah, the corkscrew to the foot. That was just brutal.
Brutal, yes. That's the episode I remember.
Next up for me, I have a Van Damme movie. It's Nowhere to Run. Now, I think this was in Randall Afterlife's collection. He may correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one with Rosanna Arquette, and she's got a young son, and her house is, I think it's by like a developer that wants to take over the land that her house is on, and of course it's up to Van Damme to kind of protect her. This was a really good movie. I saw it once a few years ago, and really enjoyed it, but it's one I'm looking forward to watching again. Now, next up, I have an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I think is very underrated. It is Last Action Hero. Now, this was from the director of Die Hard and Predator, and it's about this kid who goes into Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie. And Arnold's playing this character named Jack Slater, and this kid gets a magic ticket, and he's at a midnight show of Arnold's new movie, of like Jack Slater's newest movie, and he gets sucked into the movie. And basically this kid is trying to explain to Arnold that he's in his movie, and he's showing him like different stuff. Like, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it was one I enjoyed as a kid, and I do remember the cameo in the beginning from Tina Turner, which was really cool, because you rarely see Tina Turner acting, except in like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which I think is the only one she had like a really big part in. Next up, I have another Wesley Snipes movie. This is him and Woody Harrelson in White Men Can't Jump. Now, in this movie, they're basketball hustlers, and their basic gig is that Woody Harrelson is not supposed to be able to jump, but he can do these awesome shots, and they scam all these different guys in games of basketball, and it's a really funny movie. It's one I enjoy, and it's got Rosie Perez, who I think is kind of annoying in this movie, but the next movie I'm going to talk about she's in, and I think she's also kind of annoying in there, but I will get to that in just a second.
I remember the Jeopardy scene.
Oh yeah, and the trash talking scene with the Yo Mama jokes.
Oh, and the soap opera guy.
Yeah, I remember a part with Wesley Snipes, and he's made his shot, and he stands there and he's going, "It's pretty, it's so pretty." Next up, I have a Spike Lee movie. It is Do the Right Thing. Now, this is one I saw a few years back, and I really got into it. I also saw it on I Love the 80s, and it's about racial tensions in the Bed-Stuy area of New York during the hottest day of the summer in '89. There's an all-star cast, including Spike Lee, who does a lot of his own stuff, Samuel L. Jackson. Like I said, Rosie Perez is in here. Her character's kind of annoying. There's just a lot of good people in this movie, and it's a really interesting watch. It's one that you kind of have to sit through maybe a couple times to really get everything, but it's really worth a look. Now I'm going to get to my DVDs, and if you can hear in the background, I have Stevie Nicks playing. She's one of my favorite artists, and speaking of Stevie Nicks, I have a DVD that I got from my mom. It is one of her concerts. It's her Live at Red Rocks concert from the Rock a Little tour in '86. And the reason I have this is because my mom ordered 2 DVDs that were actually the same concert. They just had different art. So she gave me this one. And of course, like I said, I'm a fan of Stevie Nicks. I enjoy her music. I grew up on it. From her time in Fleetwood Mac to her solo career, I have all her albums. I absolutely love her music.
I like her too. My favorite song by her is I Miss You.
I know which song you're talking about, but that's not the name of it. I think it's called Love Is. I know what album that's on. I think it's Trouble in Shangri-La.
Yeah, but it's called I Miss You.
I would have to look. I don't have like a playlist or anything. It's all on my computer, so.
Yeah, someone's beginning season 4 of Charm.
Okay.
They mark it as on the wiki
okay.
site.
I'll check my computer to make sure. But next up, I have the Criterion Collection version of Kevin Smith's Chasing Amy. Now, this completes my Jay and Silent Bob collection, even though they're only in one scene of this movie. But it's basically Ben Affleck trying to hook up with a lesbian. And it's a really interesting movie to watch, but I can't say this is truly Kevin Smith's best. I think my favorites would have to be Clerks, Mallrats, and Clerks 2. But this completes my collection, like I said, and I enjoy it nonetheless.
Oh, movie I really liked with Kevin Smith was Dogma.
Dogma was really good. That is a good one.
That made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So many weird levels.
Yes, it did. And it introduced us to a fast food restaurant we would see in the later movies, remember? Clerks 2, Dante and Randall were working there?
I think so.
And then there's that scene in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where they're talking trash on the internet in that place. Oh, wow. You're missing out.
I'll live.
Next up for me is the director's cut of Donnie Darko. Now, this is the 2-disc edition. This is the movie that put Jake Gyllenhaal on the map. It's got an all-star cast, including Drew Barrymore, Noah Wyle, who a lot of you may know from the TV show ER. Patrick Swayze's in here. This is just a really good movie. Now, I'm looking for the sequel, S. Darko. If anybody can find that for me, I would gladly do a trade of something for it. But I think Cinema Sickness is trying to find that movie for me, and I hope he finds it. So, Cinema Sickness, shout out to you. I enjoy your videos. Just keep them coming because you got 2 fans right here.
And I got Lord Zedmar, Sebastian, you go.
Now, these next ones, all except for one I might have shown off in a previous update, they're all Disney movies. But first up, I just got this a few days ago in the mail. It is the DVD Blu-ray Diamond Edition of Cinderella. Now, this was one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid. Cinderella is probably one of my favorite Disney princesses. And I know that's odd for me to say, being a 28-year-old guy, but this is just one of the classics. I love it. I can't explain why, but as a kid, this was one I used to rent and just watch repeatedly.
I like the mice.
Yeah, the mice were awesome. But now I used to rent, like I said, I used to rent Cinderella and watch it repeatedly. Like this next one I'm about to show you. It is the, once again, Diamond Edition DVD Blu-ray of Lady and the Tramp. Now, this is another one that I rented repeatedly as a kid. This was one of my all-time favorites. It still is. It's such a classic. I don't know what else to say about it that hasn't already been said. I mean, it is such just a fun movie. I mean, there's characters you love, characters you hate, like Aunt Sarah and them Siamese cats. Oh my gosh, I hated them.
I hate when they killed the rat.
Oh yeah.
Poor Tar.
Of course, the tearjerker for me is when Trusty gets hit by the dog catcher's wagon. That scene always makes me cry every time. I may sound like a wuss for saying that, but I truly don't care. It's just a movie that touches my heart. I mean, it's one I grew up on. It's one I love. It's one I will continue to love, nevertheless. And it just holds, I don't know, such a special place in my heart. Now, this next one is 35th Anniversary Edition DVD Blu-ray 2-movie collection of The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under. Now, The Rescuers was one of my favorites when I was a kid. It's one that I still love. I think it is quite underrated, as is the sequel that comes with this, The Rescuers Down Under. Now, I only saw that when it first came out on VHS, and I loved it. I haven't seen it in years, but I'm looking forward to watching it and just remembering how much I loved it as a kid. And I'm also looking forward to going back and watching The Rescuers, the first one, and just truly, truly enjoying it. Then I have another DVD Blu-ray combo. It's the special edition of The Aristocats. Now, I had this on VHS when it first came out. This was another one I loved. And, of course, the character you love to hate in this one is Edgar, because he kidnaps Duchess and the kittens and leaves them to find their way back to Paris. And, of course, you gotta love Thomas O'Malley. He was just one of the coolest characters in a Disney movie, in my opinion. I mean, this is one of those movies that I could just watch over and over and never get tired of it.
I just remember at the end, it's like the mouse yells, "Quiet!"
Yeah.
He's got a lot to say. And I remember they take a picture, then they start dancing.
Yeah. And of course, that iconic song, "Everybody Wants to Be a Cat."
I want to be a rat.
Well, of course you'd want to be a rat.
Come on, they kick butt, and I go, "Squeak, squeak, squeak, squeak!"
And a cat would come along and eat you.
If they catch me first, then I can beat them up.
Maybe I'll feed you to Vanessa's cat, Mr. Cuddles.
Bring it on.
Now, this next stuff I have all came from our friend Shauna Tonin here on YouTube. We talked to him, well, I talk to him a lot on Yahoo, just about every night when I can catch him, but I think he'll like seeing this stuff that he sent me, and he knows I get enjoyment out of everything he sends me, except for a couple things here and there that I'm not truly into. But this first one is actually a video called CFL Traditions, the Stampeders Special Edition. Now, this is about the Canadian Football League team, the Calgary Stampeders, I think they are. And they had a lot of people in the NFL and in the WWF and WWE, believe it or not. But I think, as you can see on the cover, they had Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie, Magic Flutie as they called him here. But I haven't watched this yet, and I'm a football fan, so I'm looking forward to it. And I guess that's all I can truly say about it. Next up, I have a movie that I think was kind of the inspiration for the movie Orphan, and that is Macaulay Culkin and in The Good Son. This also co-stars a young Elijah Wood long before Lord of the Rings. Now, this is a really underrated and good movie. Macaulay Culkin, he plays this little, like, walking terror, and Elijah Wood is the only one who can see how truly evil he is, and it all builds up to the end, and if you've seen this movie, you know how it ends. It's just a really underrated flick, and it's one that I truly enjoy. This next one is a Canadian movie that I've never heard of. It is called Quebec, Montreal. Now, like I said, the stuff I'm showing off now, it came from Shonatonin. So, Shonatonin, if you're watching this, maybe you could give me a little basis on what this is about, because I'm not too sure, like, if this is something that would appeal to me or not. Maybe you could give me a little basis on it, but thanks anyway for it. Next up is a horror movie that stars Rey Mysterio Sr., the uncle of WWE's Rey Mysterio, and also the WWE diva Layla Milani. Now, this is WrestleManiac. It's from Anchor Bay, who has that's a company that's never let me down when it comes to horror, but it's pretty much about a killer wrestler, and it was a really interesting movie. I really don't know what else I could truly say about this unless I was to watch it again and actually try and do a review, which I just might try and do, I don't know, because we have some other videos planned that are coming up. Maybe you will see a couple more from us tonight, but that's kind of to be seen yet. We're still in the planning process on the other two, but they will be up tonight, hopefully. Maybe by in the morning we'll get them done. But anyways, next up, this one's up for trade. It's a Frank Sinatra double feature of Suddenly and The Man with the Golden Arm. Now, I've never heard of these movies. I'm not into Frank Sinatra, and if there's anybody out there who'd like this, send me a PM. Maybe we can arrange some kind of trade. Next up for me, I have the 40s version of The Jungle Book. Now, Shonatonin has told me that this is a classic, and it's the old version from the 40s. It stars a dude named Sabu, who I've never heard of. I mean, I've never even heard of this version of The Jungle Book. I mean, I grew up on the animated Disney version. I saw the live-action 90s version. I was not a big fan of it because the animated version really stuck in my heart, and it's one that I love. So I am looking forward to checking this out and seeing what the differences are between this one and the 90s version. I know that the animated version and the 90s Disney version are both two different beasts in a way, but there's like different camps for them. Some like the 40s version, some like the Disney version, some like the 90s live action version.
Jungle Book Babies one, I think.
I think so too, and there was Tailspin that was based off the Jungle Book. I remember I grew up watching that show and I absolutely loved it. We will talk about more we'll talk a little bit more on Tailspin when we do our upcoming video on animation. That will be coming soon, so keep an eye out for it. And last but not least, this also came from Shonatonin. I've heard a lot of rave reviews about this movie. It is Trick or Treat. Now, this stars, let's see, it's got Brian Cox and Anna Paquin, who are like the two big stars from it. It's a horror anthology in the style of like Creep Show, Tales from the Crypt. Now, Cinema Sickness and a couple other people gave me rave reviews on this movie. I watched it, I truly enjoyed it, and I have to agree with Cinema Sickness that this is the best Halloween-themed movie since John Carpenter's Halloween. This is one that I really, 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 really enjoyed. I just loved it. But that is all for this update, and we'll be back later tonight with some more movie-related goodness for you. Once again, this is lilrockercutie2005, also known as Andre, here with ya. I am chilling with Buffyxenaman, also known as Chris. We are telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Starburst, and enjoy some Skittles.
And chicken.
Peace out.
Eat the chicken.